taken 5 teenagers
There's a crab.
into 4 different industries.
Oh, there's a dead bug in there.
I can bathe in this. Look at that, come on.
For the ultimate work experience.
We're gonna crash, guys.
Anything off the trolley, dear?
If they deliver, I will reward them in cash.
I've got full pay. Get in!
But if they fail to shine,
I'm sorry, that really smells.
Go in, please be my friend.
they could go home empty-handed.
I'm hearing a lot of noise coming from over here. Wouldn't have this from my staff.
Should they stick with study
Oh, no, not again.
Yes, the queen of pure.
or join the daily grind?
They annoy me because I can't do it.
Are they ready
I just want to go home already.
for the 9 to 5? Last time,
That's got to be tighter than it should be.
R5
Mayday, mayday, mayday.
launched themselves into the bespoke boat building business,
It's competition time again. I love it. It's brilliant. That's good.
working together on a £6 million yacht.
It's not easy. It isn't easy.
That bit's not so great.
Only the best would make the grade.
It's too small.
That's 3, isn't it, Sam?
Yep. What an idiot.
I don't like boats anymore.
But for Layla and Tilly,
It's looking spectacular. Boom.
their newfound joy for joinery
Good stuff.
helped them sail away with more than full pay.
Tilly, Layla, you are the type of people that I would like to apply to Oyster Yachts in the future.
Brilliant. Well done.
You can't get rid of me now.
Having finished their final work placement, our trainees are looking forward to a well-earned rest. But their day's not over yet.
Hey Stace, how you doing?
Been a productive day, I hear.
Oh yeah, we've been on the very, very expensive yachts today and the guys have done all right.
I had a quick thought. Is it worth us setting something up this evening just to give the guys a bit of a platform to show you more about who they are, sort of away from the working environment? What do you reckon?
Great idea.
Ace. All right, let's get that sorted then.
Ricky and I have given them a challenge, and I'm hoping this insight into the person behind the CV will leave a lasting impression.
I think there's 2 things when you're employing someone. There's the skills you do day to day, but what really defines a person is the personality. So I'm giving you an opportunity to present and talk on something that's important to you, will show me a little bit more of that depth, and that certainly will help you in the future to get employed because people want to see that. So rather than hang around, I'm going to back Backer to go first.
Backer runs his own baking business, and this 16-year-old knows what it takes to rise to the top.
I am 100% a perfectionist. When I'm baking for clients and stuff, everything has to be perfect. You've only got that one shot to impress them, so like, if it's not done to my standard, I'll do it again.
Kicking off the presentations, Backer's keen to show how his passion helps him make sense of the world.
I'm talking about dyslexia and how baking is my outlet. I was diagnosed with dyslexia in primary school. It just felt really, really dumb. I used to absolutely hate it. I used to feel like I was at such a disadvantage. And I always just thought that was just a part of me. So with dyslexia, lots of people focus on the negatives, but loads of entrepreneurs like Richard Branson had dyslexia, and there's so many attributes that dyslexic people have which make them strong entrepreneurs. They're always passionate and curious, and you've seen that with the workplace, that I go in passionate and curious and genuinely find an interest in the most random stuff. And then there's this more creative side of dyslexia, which also links to my baking. So how I want it to look, the physical idea, and all my different senses combine with a vision that I have. I wish I had an electric mixer right now. The reason why I quite like to bake is you're trying to control everything when you bake. You've got so many things that come together and you're in control, I think. That's why I'm a bit of a perfectionist, because I'm always thinking about everything. Dyslexia is like adding all the ingredients into a cake, and once it's all mixed together, you get an amazing cupcake. Thank you.
Backer, that was brilliant. I think the way you presented it in terms of a lot of different things come together to actually make the perfect recipe is a really simple way for someone like me to certainly understand that. I can see how your mind's working, and if I was hiring you, I would actually play to those strengths of yours.
Yeah, obviously we knew you had dyslexia, but I don't think we realised how kind of hard you struggled with it. And I just want to say that we all think you're very strong and you're a top
Thank
man.
you.
Fantastic, well done. Well done. Ellie, you're up next. Good luck.
At first glance, 16-year-old Ellie from Essex looks like a typical teenager.
Ellie is kind, caring, compassionate. She's lovely.
Diagnosed with ME at the age of 12 and now fully recovered, Ellie has been making up for lost time.
I definitely have had to play a lot of catch up. Not even just like academic stuff, it's like life catching up with me as well. I just want to prove that my illness didn't define me and it's not going to stop me. So I decided to do my presentation on like my disability. So I had ME, EDS and POTS, and so I had extreme fatigue, brain fog and like extreme pain. I used to pass out quite a lot. I literally walk from my bedroom to the kitchen, pass out like 6 times. So when I was ill, the only method that kind of made sure I wasn't always in a crash was the spoon method. Basically, you get between 12 and 16 spoons, depending on like your level of energy. So you'd have 4 spoons and that'd be getting out of bed and like walking downstairs and making breakfast. And then 5 spoons would be leaving the house. I would usually have 3 spoons left, and out of that, I've got to walk around the house. That'd take 2 spoons, 1 spoon for eating. So like then I have to wait till the next day to shower, which is like really tough. But a couple of years ago, I got the opportunity to speak in Bristol about it. Like I was still wheelchair bound at that point, but I was well enough to leave the house because a lot of people with ME, they don't leave their rooms for like months and months at a time. They don't have the energy. I had to speak for the people that couldn't speak. And that was like such an amazing experience. And I got messages from like Tokyo and America. It's really isolating unless you're like friends with people that understand. That's why I'm so close with my mum and so dependent on her.
Thank you. It was really brave to stand up there and share that with us because sometimes when people have challenges, they don't necessarily want to air it to others.
I feel like it's my responsibility to talk about it.
Me and you had the talk yesterday and how you don't think you could live independently. But I just want to say that you really are a strong, independent woman and you can do anything.
I agree. I couldn't have said it any better. Right, guys, Tilly's turn.
Tilly is a single-minded 16-year-old from Scarborough who has eyes firmly fixed on a high-flying career.
I have a big interest in politics and how our country runs. I am a member of the Young Conservatives. I'm very ambitious. Everyone tells me they could see me as Prime Minister one day. I would see myself as a career woman helping society to make the UK a better place. As many of you know, I'd like to be an MP when I'm older. It's quite rare for people my age to be into politics. I feel like our generation, we care about climate change. We care, obviously, about sustainable stuff, but then that's kind of lost the focus on politics, and at the moment we are in a participation crisis. Politics is kind of seen as now a bad thing instead of a good thing. We are so lucky to have the political system we have. I think it's quite upsetting, the fact that many people just can't be bothered with it anymore. To me, politics is just everyone having an opinion on how to get the country the best we can be, and I feel like people look at it and forget that it's actually for us.
I don't know much about politics and I only care about the climate side of it, so I agree that we need more understanding in everywhere, basically, especially in our age group.
I feel like a lot of people pick certain problems and they don't think of the overall. The government has to have something for the whole country, not just one problem. Like,
I mean, climate change is a big...
It's a big problem, but everyone needs to take a part. And if you don't have trust in the government, why should the government trust us?
I think it's very impressive and very cool that you're making a conscious effort to set yourself up to make a difference in the future. And I think we all agree that she can do anything she puts her mind to, 100%.
Thank you.
101%.
Tilly, it's an inspiration that you're thinking about something like this at such a young age. The fact that there's a healthy debate between the guys and some interest, I think if anyone can do this, using this experience, I think you've got a great opportunity. So, round of applause again, guys. I thought it was great to hear. Please come back and take a seat. Layla, would you like to come up? Good luck.
Layla is 17 and from Leicester. When it comes to the future, this teenager isn't driven by dreams of fame and fortune.
I would rather go into something where I actually help the community and help raise money or raise awareness. As long as I actually end up helping people and making their lives, even if it's a little bit better, that would make me so happy. That would be a dream come true. I'm really passionate about helping people and making a difference, and I feel like the younger generation have the most power to do this, but we choose not to. We have so much potential and I fear that it all goes to waste. So nowadays, even with social media, the internet, and basically the whole world in the palm of our hands, when we hear something horrific, we are barely fazed. Let's try something. Imagine a small child starving to death, malnourished, barely able to breathe, let alone survive in the harsh conditions. What did you feel? An overwhelming sense of sadness, sorrow, helplessness? How long did that strong urge to help that child last? How long was it before you shrugged it off and you started thinking about something or someone else? I'm not trying to darken the mood, but it's just reality. That's what the world has become, and frankly enough, I don't like it. I'm self-absorbed. We all are to an extent. This needs to change. If there's anything you can take from this, it's be compassionate so that when you open your social media, when you're scrolling through Insta and you see that child, you feel something. Do something about it. Take action. Thank you.
Layla, that was powerful. I can't believe there's been points of this whole process where we've questioned your confidence.
I thought it was amazing. The power you have, to control the mood in a room is amazing. You've actually made it seem more real.
Yeah.
So I think you've raised a really important issue.
I just hope that as youngsters that we can make a difference, and we do have that power, and we are the future.
Well done.
Last under the spotlight is 17-year-old Sam from Cardiff. Unsure about his future career, whatever he chooses, he wants to be the star player.
I'd say my ambition is, firstly, to be the best me I can possibly be. Football's always been something I massively, massively enjoyed, as well as doing drama and performing and things like that. It just depends which opportunities come my way, I suppose. As I've really enjoyed kind of the process with you guys, I've decided to write a little song about the last 2 weeks that we've with the highs and lows. So yeah. It started in a hotel in Peterborough. We waved our parents off goodbye, said see ya. We really hoped the next 2 weeks would be the time when we would find ourselves and find how to succeed. It started with our interviews with Ricky. It's safe to say that Backers was quite tricky. Too much detail, that was sticky. And Ellie, you're lazy. He's really picky. At the garage, Ellie was on photos, but none would take of me wearing those clothes. How easy just to give a car a bath. Then Backer turned round, got full pay and said ha. On the next day, the rain got tilly sad, so Sam and Backer decided to be bad. We had a little dance, we had a little rap. Stacey said we hit the car, it was more like a tap. Cause we met friends and we met family. £33 was our salary. I hope my family are proud of me, just taking every second, and I know they are bound to be. Cause we met friends and we met family. £33 was our salary. I hope my family are proud of me, just taking every second, and I know that they are bound to be. At the oyster plant we met our heroes Clint and Chris. We didn't want to taste the oysters, we gave it a miss. My beach heroics, no, they weren't a myth, but don't rely on me too much till now, do you get the gist? Layla was a really super supervisor. They couldn't have picked one more wiser. She really dealt with us guys, and we got full pay at the perfect time. Tilly was smiling because she loves the cheese smell. Personally, I think it's absolute hell. A really tricky day with Backer chatting back. Luckily, Jean didn't give him a smack. A day of redemption was well overdue, but as the dream team, that's what we do. Layla got pooed on and Ellie came to save me. But just remember, you can't go wrong with chips, cheese and gravy. Cause we met friends and we found family. £33 was our salary. I hope my family are proud of me, just taking every single second. I know they are bound to be. Cause we met friends and we met family. £33 was our salary. I hope my family are proud of me, just loving every moment, and I know that they are bound to be.
That was amazing. So good.
I mean, wow, I could never come up with something like that.
I'm speechless, mate. That was truly amazing. It was very heartfelt. I love the fact that you had something for everyone, including me. When you go into the workforce, it kind of is like that. You build friends and family, not just colleagues, so well done.
Thank you very much, thank you.
Guys, all I wanted to see is an appreciation for one another, and what's clear is you're a strong team. And when I meet you all tomorrow, I'd like to talk about what you've learned in this process and what will be great thereafter. So well done this evening, you did really, really well. I'll give you all that. Oh, you've missed a brilliant time.
Do you know, I knew this was going to happen.
Honestly, I think I saw more out of them this evening when they're talking about something they were interested in. So really looking forward to a final interview with them all now with that extra bit of secret ingredient.
Sort of mirrors reality because you're employing the person, right, as well as what they're capable of at work.
What I'm actually looking for is the will to learn, the will to develop, the will to succeed. And that's what we saw this evening, more than ever.
Thank you so much for all your hard work.
No worries, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.
Definitely, I'll see you tomorrow.
See ya.
Bye.
Their work experience may have come to an end.
Good morning.
But R5 will have to face their formal interviews with Ricky before they head home.
Guess who's going to be wearing her white boots today?
I don't think Ricky is the type of guy that will let creased shirts and jumpers off lightly. He did say, dress well tomorrow.
And after a fortnight on the road...
You want anything breakable in here?
I don't think so.
Our teens will be leaving this experience with more than their newfound skills.
The last 2 weeks have been a proper roller coaster. It was so fun. I mean, I can't wait to join the world of work if it's this fun, because genuinely, I loved it.
I don't miss them all so much. Like, we've all got on so well. Such a tight-knit group. It's going to be so strange not seeing this lot every day.
You legend.
I need to go and get ready now.
It's been a fortnight since Ricky last interviewed the group. What he wants to know now is, are they any more work ready after their experience?
Ricky, here he is in all his glory, suited and booted.
As normal.
I'm looking forward to eavesdropping from a distance. But really, you know, I wanted to be involved in how they're feeling about going forward, you know?
First up for their exit interview is Becca. When they last met, it wasn't Becca's CV that caught Ricky's attention.
I actually think you've given me a very boring CV. I did have a very good look at your social accounts. Twitter told me you had a PhD in making people smile.
I'm a very positive driven person, so normally when people are around me, we're always smiling, laughing.
Yeah.
But 2 weeks later, has Becca's positivity survived the world of work?
Hey, Becca.
Hi, Ricky. Hi, Stacey.
Hi, Becca. How have the last couple of days been?
It's fun, I loved it.
What's not to love? Like multi-million-pound yachts. It sounds amazing.
I know.
It's a really great chance to see if your PhD in making people smile really exists.
My name is going to be on a boat. Life can't get better than that, right? Sorry, dude. Oh, no, not again. We all make mistakes, and you fixed it. It's fine.
Your highs have been super high, euphoric almost, and your lows have been pretty tricky.
I think the day one on the cheese farm was definitely the toughest. It was probably the hardest I've ever worked. Manual work. I was drenched in sweat. Again, I made some errors. That was not good. I dropped 2 cheeses out of 100 cheeses that I picked up. But, you know, that was like £700 worth of cheese. 28 quid. Why is that?
Every cheese that is damaged, we are potentially losing profit and money.
It was a really terrible job, I think. It was really, really boring.
You have to watch your tone here, Becca, because this pays people's mortgages.
I'm sorry if that came across as really rude. I feel a bit down, to be fair. I'm really annoyed at myself. And I really let myself down at the end, I think. That was definitely my lowest moment.
Do you know what, Becca? You could have sulked and you could have felt embarrassed and gone in on yourself. And I think that shows tremendous strength.
I guess it is a learning period, this whole experience.
100%. I mean, we're all human.
You are a great character. I'd be intrigued to think of everything you've experienced if what you'd like to do next is change.
Definitely still want to do something creative, design something for the future, which will make people's lives better, and that's what I want to do.
Everyone needs a backer, so well done and good luck.
Thank you. See you, Stacey.
Bye, mate. Best of luck.
Bye.
See ya.
Next to face Ricky is Ellie. At the start of this experience, she was desperate to take control of her life.
So why have you decided to join this process?
So I wanted to become more independent and I wanted people to respect me more. My mum does everything for me and my dad, they both do everything for me.
But after 2 weeks, is she any closer to being an independent woman?
I feel like when I go home, I'm not going to need my mum as much now. Probably do things for myself without thinking about it.
I think Ellie's really surprised us, actually, because I think right at the start, it was evident that there was no independence there whatsoever.
Who are you going to call?
I'll just call my mum.
Hi. I got a call to say you were a little bit lonely and a little bit homesick.
I love you.
I love you.
Going forward, you have shown such maturity. I think at the cheese farm, that was a real highlight for you.
Get in, well in. Quality.
Quality.
Clearly not your scene, clearly not an environment that you'd want to work in. I thought you really shone.
Like £28 is just a bit harsh.
Back off. Between us, we've nearly dropped £1,000 worth of cheese. Just be grateful there was only a £5.
There was a problem, and you showed a lot of independence in that situation, which wasn't necessarily shared with everyone else.
I think there's a possibility, Ricky, that people could underestimate Ellie.
I feel like I'm always underestimated. People look at me and just see like, kind of just like a young, dumb blonde girl, but I'm actually quite intelligent.
I was, you know, not miles different to how you are when I was a bit younger. But I would just urge you to keep your head down, kick on, do whatever excites you and just smash it because you've shown that you're capable.
That's brilliant. That's almost perfect. Well done.
Thank
That's really
you.
well presented.
The whole experience has been like amazing for me and it's been like just really positive.
Brilliant. Well, good luck with everything you do next.
Thank you.
Awaiting her round with Ricky is Tilly. When they first met, her political ambitions impressed.
There's not many people I meet of your age who are saying that they have a desire to become an MP.
Yeah.
But there were still lessons to be learned.
My weaknesses is probably thinking I'm always right.
If you can listen to all people's opinions, then you're going to be a more powerful leader.
Yeah.
So, did Tilly embrace Ricky's advice?
I did try and keep my opinions to myself because I know I'm very, like, sharp, but it wasn't really working. I don't think it's good that you're doing on the car.
I think we've got to remember where we are, yeah? You know, I wouldn't have this from my staff.
Maybe I was too quiet, maybe it made me look a bit, oh, I can't be bothered, I'm not putting enough energy into it.
What I would say is listening to other opinions doesn't mean that you have to mute your own.
Well, let's look at what we really wanted to see, because the key ingredient for me to be successful at is being really open-minded and throwing yourself into every task.
Yeah.
Do you think you're able to do that?
I think I was very open-minded. I still put 100% in and maybe just didn't show it as well as what I'd normally do because it's a new experience for me.
I think Tilly really did try and I think you really found your flow later on.
I completely agree. Boom.
Well done, Tilly. That's the best one
Thank
today.
you very much.
That is excellent. Well done.
Thank you. I'm actually buzzing. I'm so happy with myself.
What was amazing, you got 2 days worth of full pay, and that's off the back of your dad saying he wouldn't hire you as a joiner. What was good to see is your strong-willedness and your confidence actually said, well, do you know what, I'm going to prove you wrong.
My dad, he was really proud of me and I could tell he was proper chuffed at the fact that I did really well in what his trade is.
I don't know how you become an MP, but my head would say if you take everything that you've done in this process, which is throw yourself into situations, take lots of lessons, seek opportunities and do your best, you'll do really, really well at it. And I hope it helps with whatever you do next.
Thank you.
Really best of luck, Tilly, with everything going forward. I'll be watching.
Thank you.
In the hot seat next is Sam. 2 weeks ago, he was itching to take on some real-world challenges.
I'm very keen on getting as much life experience as I possibly can. I think for me, finding things within myself as well, so seeing when I'm put in a tough situation, seeing how I react to that.
But has this been the journey of self-discovery Sam hoped for?
I've learned that I'm a lot stronger than I thought I was. There's been times where I've been up against it, where a past version of myself would have just given in.
But what were the times that were toughest?
In the oyster farm, which I think was my favourite industry we went into, we were carrying really heavy bags of oysters on the beach. When it got to like the 40th, 50th bag of oysters, I was thinking, just do this, put it down, and that'll be the last one. But for some reason, I just kept picking up another bag.
You sure?
No!
Nope. Just pretend that didn't happen.
Yep.
I feel like that's where Sam really came into his own. He was flying, he was magic that day. And I think you just really took one for the team.
I felt really positive after that day. It was a good one.
What do you think might be the biggest learn you still have?
There were times when I would approach a task and I remember kind of doing it with absolute speed and wanting to get it done as quick as possible. It wasn't the right approach for that particular task.
You're competing with people who actually aren't competing with you, and I saw that certainly when we were doing the yachts. You were rushing what is a considered precision quality task because you wanted to get it done first because you're competitive.
What have I done here now? As soon as I realised Bakker was ahead, I wanted to just go a little bit quicker. I've never been all right with losing. I really beat myself up when I don't get the results I want.
Sam, when we first met, you said, "Do you know what, Stacey, I'm not entirely sure about what I want to do." Are you any closer to making a decision now?
For me, I really want to go into like TV performing. You know, that's always been the #1. This was a process of kind of finding out as much about myself as I can. I didn't realise how beneficial that would be at all. Like, it was massive for me.
Good luck, Sam. You've been a pleasure. Well done.
Thank you very much. Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Last up is Layla. When she first faced Ricky, she was in need of a serious confidence boost.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how nervous were you for this conversation?
7.
Having a scale of 7 out of 10 of being nervous tells me that your confidence isn't that high. You need to throw yourself into every task that comes ahead of you right now. Don't be the quiet one in the room.
But after 2 weeks in the workplace, has anything changed?
I'll let Layla tell you a little bit more, but we had some really good news from the boss yesterday.
I was very interested in the joinery that I did the past 2 days. It's looking spectacular, if I do say so myself. Second day, I went right into it. I even asked him questions about apprenticeship jobs.
Been really pleased in 2 days of some of the skills that you've already shown. Hopefully, you might apply and you'll be one of our employees.
Yes, I will be applying and I will be an employee very soon.
Brilliant.
Go on, Layla. Massive, massive well done you.
The boss was not only impressed, but really, really happy to hear it.
To instigate that as well is like a massive testament to how much you've grown.
Layla's doing a great job with her work ethic, her quality, her attention to detail.
Throughout this process, you have stumbled across things that you never would have entertained prior to doing this.
Most definitely. Like, I never imagined myself enjoying, like, for the oyster farm. I got this. Yeah, I got this.
Go.
I was getting my hands all dirty and getting inside all the mud from the beach and the sand, it was all over me.
I think Layla's going to make the best boss.
Doesn't mean I can't help, right? I've never been a boss or supervisor before, but I really enjoyed myself and I want to thank both of you for the experience.
I'm so thrilled for you, Layla, and I think you've got so much to offer. Just grab something that you love with both hands and really, really go for it.
Thank you so much, Stacey.
And I definitely see a different person in front of me. So, bright future, good luck, and well done in this experience. See you later.
So much. See you later.
Bye, girl.
Bye.
Stacey, that was our last one.
Honestly, I cannot thank you enough. You've been such an utter hero jumping in.
It made this final meeting with each of them so much better. I don't know if it means as a result I warmed to them all more, but yeah, brilliant. It was great to see it firsthand.
We got there in the end.
We certainly did.
See you soon.
No
Bye,
worries,
Ricky.
bye.
It's the end of R5's journey, and all that's left to do is say goodbye.
I had the absolute pleasure of meeting like 4 of the strongest people I've ever met, and I've enjoyed literally every single second of it.
Thank you.
You've been living the dream.
You made me cry.
I was so proud of us.
I agree.
We got the job done.
Yes.
Am I recording? I hope so. Hi everyone, it's Baka from 9 to 5 with Stacey Dooley.
Got the PhD in making people smile.
My end dream is to end up with my own interior design and architecture firm, and hopefully that'll make Ricky proud.
Hi everyone, it's Tilly here. If I got a job here, my dad will be so jealous. The work experience taught me that you should never take anything for granted. You should literally dive in and live the best life you can.
Wait, you're going to squish the crab! Never know. You might see me and Tilly on the political battlefield competing for Prime Minister one day.
Everyone's doing as badly as I am, but I still really want to win. With the things that I'm looking to go into, whether it was like music and acting and things like that, I've now got a whole new mindset of how I'm going to work towards my goals now, because I now know just how much it takes.
Can all 3 of you come here, please?
Guess what? I'm still in contact with the joinery from Oyster Yachts, and they are talking with me about doing work experience soon. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that works out. Anyways, that's all for now. Thank you. Bye. And remember, if I can do it, you can do it too.
This is the real working world, isn't it lovely?
No.
Come on, Becca, put some back into it. Right?
This is what being born must feel like.
I could genuinely fit in that.
You know, my mum said as long as I'm eating, it doesn't matter what it is.
Food's actually good for your skin.